At 6:17 hours, in the grey smear of dawn south of the tree line near Vuhledar, the air tastes like chalk and cordite. Radios hiss, a drone whines like an angry mosquito over a mine-pocked lane. Heat signatures wink on tablets in a shallow, wet trench. The Ukrainian assault element holds the line of departure on a heartbeat. 3 vehicles idling low. An M11-17 Guardian rumbling forward to peacock for the enemy. An M2A2 Bradley ODS hunkered behind a hedgerow with its 25mm poised. And an M113 rattling like a tin prayer. Orders cut clean on the net.
2 drop sites, 1 faint, time on target T-90.
The ground is clay and bad memories. The morning is about to get very loud.
06-18-22. The Bradley's turret is a dim cathedral of green light. The commander, callsign Salt, leans over the commander's independent thermal, cataloging hotspots up the tree line. Gunner Siren tests the M242's electric drive. The turret hums like a secret. Driver Mole rocks the hole on the torsion bars, feeling for play in the track. Era tiles stud the Bradley's cheeks and hull front in rectangular ribs. Fresh paint already scuffed by last night's brush with a fence post. Ugly armor is honest armor. It sits under a rack of 2 tow tubes, safeties pinned, ready to write rude letters at a few kilometers range. The dismount squad in the back checks charges and smokes, cracks knuckles. On the flank, Ukrainian mortars, glass-eyed and patient, wait for grids. Overhead, a quadcopter scouts the trench angles ahead, its feed stabilized against the morning shiver. Across the grey band of no one's land, Russian positions squat low, a trench system pinned to the edge of a copse, ATGM scrape marks on the berm, a dugout roofed with doors and stubbornness. Thermals show movement in the first bay, 2 helmets tipped together, likely a team betting cigarettes on the morning. Farther right, an RPG team crouches behind a stump that used to be a tree. Behind them, in the shadows, a BMP idles, engine coughing. Russian EW mutters from the rear, but the drone feed is still clean. Good. The faint vehicle revs.
Guardian, showtime.
The M117 lurches out of cover onto the rutted lane. Its slab sides offering a silhouette a blind ATGM gunner could love. It puts its nose toward the trench and thumps smoke. The white wall leaps like stage curtains in a bad play. Somewhere in the fog, a Russian machine gun rasps awake. The Bradley's smoke projectors answer, thick thermal opaque screens that blind optics and rob every laser of a neat place to live. The tree line becomes a watercolor. The ATGM lane closes like a door in the enemy's face.
Red drop, blue drop, go.
The formation forks. The M113 claws right, lurching through a shallow gully toward the first drop point. The Bradley heaves left, engine note flattening out, crossing a dug-through field whose bumps have names the crew refuses to learn. They ride the smoke bank like surfers on a dirty wave. Russian small arms rake the fog, hopeful and wide. The M113 punches to its stop line like an anxious bus, ramp down at a skid. 6 infantry dismount into churned mud, move like they practiced. 2 over, 2 up, 2 watching the corners of their souls. They pour into the trench elbow and sweep, a clipped ballet of short bursts and grenade arcs. If you're enjoying this video, hit that like and subscribe button right now. They take the first bay and hold. First position secured. The Bradley runs the second drop. It never stops talking. The Bushmaster coughs in disciplined bursts, stitching the berm faces and tree trunks with 25mm. that chews bark, dirt, and the occasional bad idea. Siren lets the selector bite into single shot for precision, walking rounds onto loopholes and muzzle flashes. The gun's recoil is a heartbeat. The turret settles back on target like it's bored of the Earth's shaking. Over the net, mortar teams drop smoke beyond the trench to kill rear sight lines. The Bradley's back hatch yawns, dismounts spill to ground. One man tossing a smoke grenade into the dugout mouth, another hugging the dirt to bank a charge around the corner. They go in, they come out. That corner of the map is no longer Russian.
The enemy wakes fully, late to its own funeral. A Kornet team, patient to a fault, finally finds confidence. The missile kicks a white line through the smoke like a chalk mark across a blackboard.
Missile, left.
Siren snaps the turret and the Bradley jerks, Mole sawing the hull across rough ground so the ERA cheeks take the angle. The contrail ghosts the hedgerow and spears the Bradley's nose. Impact is a bell struck in the bones. ERA pops, sheets of energy and brute chemistry. The front armour shrugs, staggered but unpunctured. Inside the Bradley, crew teeth click as if taking attendance. Electronics flicker, then hold.
Still moving.
Salt says.
It tried.
The missile did not get the memo that today is inconvenient for dying. It failed anyway. Russian FPV buzzes in from the right, at waist height. Nasty little camera-headed Hornet set on ruin. The drone operator dives for the Bradley's gear face, looking for a shoelace to cut. Siren hammers coax, the stream chasing the Wasp's jitter. The FPV jukes, smacks skirt plate with a mean pop that exfoliates paint and pride, but changes nothing structural. Second FPV tries a higher angle. It eats a branch and detonates with poor manners, showering the trench lip with splinters. Pressure wash, Siren says. Dark mirth, thin as wire. The Bradley keeps rolling, its armour now wearing 2 new smudges, and the expression of a bouncer who just removed a miner from the dance floor. The map says there's a BMP tucked in the tree line, and a tank beyond it, both within good taste for a TOW.
Hold. Posting.
Salt calls. Mole brakes as if the field had a clutch. Salt plants the tow sight like a flag on the world. Thermal, steady, crosshair locked to a cough of heat behind a tree.
Track, send.
The tube coughs a contrail that sprints level with the hedgerow, wire playing out, guidance humming like someone quietly angry. The missile peels the tree trunk and meets the BMP with a hard conversation about metallurgy and planning. The return argument is smoke, black and repentant.
Target 1, gone.
Siren reports as if reading the weather.
Second tube. Far thermals, 2.1 kilometers.
Salt says, already shifting the sight to a larger shape, nudging forward like a bully who got invited late.
Send.
The second tow writes its name in air, pauses on a twig of jamming, then remembers that physics always beats hope. It tags the target at the lip of the tree line. The tank's heat blooms into a wrong-coloured flower. Crewmen elsewhere begin to contemplate the merits of caves and prayer. The trench fight is now a math problem with loud punctuation. Ukrainian infantry move corner to corner, one soldier licking a smoke grenade into a dugout before stepping aside as his buddy banks a charge. They clear, mark, move. A captured RPG stutters from the far end. Return fire walks a zipper over the parapet and persuades the RPG operator to consider a lateral career move. The dugout with the radio antenna? It's quiet now, except for a radio pleading to no one. The squad leader raises a green panel for the Bradley. Drop site secure, move your iron elsewhere. The enemy tries to stop the Bradley with an AGS, thump thump. Grenades plonking along the hedgerow like a drunk drummer missing beats. A few scatter into the Bradley's wake. Mole snakes the hull, reading ground like Braille, keeping speed up where it matters, and dropping to a careful crawl when the ruts would turn the turret into a metronome. The Bushmaster's rhythm answers, slicing a tree's lower limbs into kindling, walking rounds along a bunkered lip. Wood chips turn into spite. Russian ATGMs want clean shots. They get ugliness. The Bradley throws fresh smoke, fat and dirty, and mortars lay a curtain beyond the trench to slap the enemy's depth perception off the table. Thermal smoke is chemistry saying no, and the ATGM gunner's optics become a watercolour again. The Bradley halts just long enough to let its Bushmaster talk with authority. Short 10-round bursts at 2 likely ATGM nests, then 2 longer strings into the obscured tree line. Trees shed bark. The earth looks like someone erased parts of it with sandpaper. Then this happens. 2 things choose the same second. First, a second Kornet launches from deeper in the wood, its trail writing the same cruel script toward the Bradley's forward quarter. Second, Siren spots something strange peeking through the fluttering smoke. A stack of ammo crates, half hidden behind logs, likely a resupply cache shoved forward for a push that now exists only in staff slides. Salt has a choice: pivot to face the Kornet head-on, or finish the problem that will feed the next 5. He picks both in one move.
Mol, one track left hard, nose high.
The Bradley lurches into a shallow berm, angling the ERA toward the incoming, presenting the composite in exactly the stacked way engineers prefer.
Siren, hedge gap, 50 meters right of the crates. Walk in and touch it.
The Bushmaster rips an angry ribbon through wet leaves. Tracers stitch shy of the crates, then find their mark. Wooden lids pop. A slow orange yawns. The Kornet arrives and kisses the ERA's forward block with a metallic swear. Tiles crack hot, jet disrupted, energy spent the wrong way. Spall liners earn their keep. Inside, the crew ride the punch like a boxing glove stuffed with nails graze their ribs instead of their lungs. Electronics hiccup and live.
Still good.
Salt says to the universe. The crates, persuaded, become a choir. 1 cooks, then 2, then the rest vote for thermodynamics. A secondary rolls through the tree line, shoving smoke and splinters. Russian voices in the trench go from orders to single-syllable vowels. What was a position is now a myth. Then this happened. The BMP that hadn't learned to die yet chooses life poorly. It noses forward into the orange push from the ammo cache and immediately regrets science. A final toe, because restraint is holy, but sometimes you still pray loud. Slides into its side plate and turns driver's ambition into ballast. Over the net, a panicked burst in Russian. Retreat grid, regroup west of the copse. Maps change the way weather does. Slowly, then all at once. The Bradley's crew listens to chaos and takes notes. From first smoke to last push, the armoured trio has been in the teeth for under a quarter hour. In that time, both drop sites were serviced, 2 ATGM nests silenced by direct fire, 2 tows found their calling, or 3 depending on whether a burning engine counts. And the trench's back brain panicked. The Bradley slaloms forward, then backward, never quite stopping, always angled. Its crew has the calm of people who do hard jobs for pay that feels like a prank. Siren keeps the gun honest. Mole refuses to let a rut write their obituary. Salt keeps the net clear, voice even, humour black and fine-grained as soot. Russian positions, rubble and lessons. A tow status light blinks a petty protest. Salt cycles power and whacks the panel like a mechanic who has read 3 holy books. The light decides to behave. The launcher lives to lecture again. On the flank, the M113 calls a throne track scare. False alarm. It was a branch jammed into a road wheel like a toothpick. They pop it free with a pry bar and a promise to buy that road wheel a beer later. At the second drop site's corner, a dugout refuses to die politely. A Ukrainian soldier, breathing hard, eyes level, rolls another smoke into its mouth, holds the door with his muzzle, waits. No one comes out. He takes the longer walk around, slides a charge where a roof beam's cruddy end juts from dirt, counts short, leans away. The dugout exhales a final, flat surprise. Mission complete. That trench belongs to a different flag now. A Russian grenade launcher coughs a drum's worth of grenades to deny the Bradley's egress. Mole drives like he's been dared, cutting through the gap before the air can learn to rain iron. Siren stitches the launcher's likely cover with a vertical walk that peels off bark and bravado. The launcher stops having opinions. The drone overhead dips for confirmation. Its feed wobbles as EW licks at the signal, but the operators ride inertia and instinct. The picture clears enough to see bodies choosing horizontal over heroic. Another FPV dives, this one from higher in, flies like it believes in destiny. The Bradley's coax writes dotted lines in the air. The drone jitters, tries to knife the rear bustle. It finds ERA blocks bolted where thin once lived, and blooms into a sad, close white. The tiles look scuffed now, like knuckles that say the fight is over, and also that they enjoyed parts of it. The crew doesn't look back. Forward is cheaper. The trench bends away. The hedgerow thins. The Bradley noses toward a cut that Vantage calls perfect, and artillery calls bait.
Salt has them hull down behind a scraped berm. Thermals say a lot. Russian silhouettes pulling back by 2s and 3s. A fuel truck that hasn't heard the explosion sermons. A Ukrainian mortar splash landing like periods at the end of the enemy's bad sentences. Salt calls the grid for that fuel truck with the tone of a man ordering coffee. Somewhere behind them, 6 tubes answer with an obliging thunder. The truck's day ends abruptly, and a whole lot of tomorrow disappears from a Russian logbook.
Infantry net is a chorus. Positions taken, holding, ammo green, casualties light. The Bradley rotates just enough to suggest violence without wasting motion. The Bushmaster gives 2 last short sermons into a suspect stump line. Across the way, a BMP turret, abandoned and offended, continues to point nowhere. Smoke hangs where motives used to be. The M1117, having played decoy like a champ, rolls back in with the swagger of someone who wears cheap shades well. Time to go, Salt says, hearing artillery's counter-battery echo start to think its way into the area code. The Bradley reverses smoother than lesser machines turn forward. Mole dances pedals, turret stays on a near sector, siren counting rounds for the next thing. They vanish the way good armour does, in reverse, behind smoke, already a rumour by the time the enemy decides to aim correctly. 15 minutes ago, the Russian position looked like a plan. Now it looks like a cautionary tale.